Bitcoin currently trading at $82,300 here on CoinMarketCap. So, yeah, we're hovering around this $82,000 mark. And I have a few topics I want to discuss with you today about Bitcoin and other things that maybe a couple people didn't notice on X. But let's start it off here with this tweet from Alan B. Watts that says, I've noticed three distinct responses with the strategic Bitcoin reserve. No coiners, this is their opinion, totally unaware, didn't know what happened, couldn't tell you the current Bitcoin price either. Bitcoin tourists, bummed the announcement didn't instantly pump their bags, anxious the top may be in this cycle, considering selling some. And then we have real Bitcoiners, euphoric, bullish, regardless of short term price action, knowing the long term paradigm shift to a Bitcoin standard is well underway. So I just wanted to discuss this a little bit because, yes, this is pretty much what's going on. It does feel like the average person has no idea that this even happened. I think that's partly because, when they were first announcing this, that, we had the legislation for it and everything, and it was signed, it was actually the day before the Crypto Digital Asset Summit. So the one that was publicized to everyone was the day after we got that video, that long ways video, that was just basically posted to social media. So I think that could be part of the reason why maybe people didn't see the news as much that day. I don't know, but I also have my own theory of why the price is where it's at. So that could be maybe a little bit more manipulated, so it doesn't necessarily correlate. I don't know. This is just my idea of it. So I feel like, yes, Bitcoiners, they do realize how huge this is. And it's almost like Bitcoin is giving you another chance to get some Bitcoin at some cheap prices, right? Because we know the magnitude of this. While it seems like the rest of the world hasn't really caught on yet, but we know that there's going to be some canon events, I guess could be the right term, for like something could happen huge, and then this news is way out there, and people will be like, whoa, when did we get a Bitcoin reserve? And then they might start looking into what's been going on. But I have another tweet here from Benjamin Hodlin, and this is pretty much it. If Bitcoin's price in USD hits $400,000, would normies even notice? It feels like that sometimes. Like, how are we really going to get the adoption going on this thing? And yeah, that's always been the question about Bitcoin from the beginning, right? So we have here Wikipedia page for Adam Back because I wanted to mention Adam Back's tweet here, but if you're not familiar with him, he has promoted the use of satellites and mesh networks to broadcast and receive Bitcoin transactions as backup for the traditional internet. Now, some people like the channel, YouTube channel, Barely Sociable, claim that Back is Satoshi Nakamoto, but he denies this. And he was also recently in, I think it was HBO, the documentary there where they were discussing who was Satoshi. He claimed obviously not to be Satoshi in that as well. And he was one of the first two people to actually receive an email from Satoshi Nakamoto. So obviously that is a big reason why people would speculate and say he is Satoshi. So this is what he recently tweeted, regarding this topic of the strategic Bitcoin reserve. He says people are undervaluing the US strategic Bitcoin reserve announcement, like we were just saying. It is huge for moving the Overton window. The actual US government promoting Bitcoin provides the new ultimate reference for sovereign wealth funds, pension funds to add Bitcoin allocations. So a lot of the ways that we are going to, get the Bitcoin price moving up and more Bitcoin being owned. So I wanted to bring this up here about why I was kind of like saying my theory about why the price might not be exactly accurately, displaying the strategic Bitcoin reserve, which we are feeling like maybe it didn't get out there enough. I don't know. But basically, I'm looking at here. So number 4, which is number 1 for the Bitcoin USD pair, Coinbase. So Coinbase, I believe, it has the most volume for the Bitcoin USD pair. So what I like to do as an indicator is watch the volume of that specific pair on Coinbase, because ever since we had, I believe it was more options, so it's basically like a huge ETF fund enter into the market a few months ago. I noticed that the volume for the BTC USD pair was different than it had been. So before that, it seemed to, have like these huge fluctuations upwards and everything. And then all of a sudden, when we had all of that Wall Street money come in, I noticed the volume going up a lot and then dumping. So right now it's at $781 million, right? But earlier I noticed that when they dump, obviously number go down, and then the volume goes to like maybe 150 million to 250 million dollars worth of Bitcoin USD in this pair, right? And then when it dumps to that very bottom, like we saw 80, basically 80,000 today, then they start slowly adding on. This is my theory, right? Because I'm seeing it in real time. About $100 million worth, $200 million worth once it hits the bottom, and then it eventually racks up to be anywhere from $1 billion worth of Bitcoin to 2 billion. I even saw around the election, I think it went all the way up to $4 billion worth of volume. And then once we hit, a certain high number, then it's basically like they rugged it and they're pumping and dumping. So everyone kind of keep an eye on the volume for Coinbase, because I think it is a pretty good indicator to see what's going on. And sometimes it does take some time for that number to catch up. So if they sell, it could still be high for a while and then you eventually see it fall down. I'm not sure, but I really feel like that is a good indicator. And I also think that, like I said, the price really hasn't caught on to this news yet. So maybe it could be a little bit bearish or whatever, because we didn't necessarily make a new Bitcoin buy. We just have established this reserve, and the money that the government already holds in Bitcoin goes into it. But we're having budget neutral buys. So that's going to be, who knows when they might announce, hey, we're going to be flipping all of the money that we got from Doge, basically confiscated from these nonprofit, non-government organizations that are getting all of these funds through crazy things like, what is it, Saudi Arabia, Sesame Street was getting millions of dollars. All these, transgender mice has these funds, right, that now Elon and Trump with Doge are just cutting out. So that could be a budget neutral buy for this Bitcoin. Also, what's going on with the gold situation. We could use, if there's any gold, or if there's, any ways that we can use investments the US already has to put into Bitcoin. That'll be just announcements all over the place, possibly. Or also, I know Trump, he really likes to be super competitive. So if other countries are getting headlined about owning so much Bitcoin, also we have Nayib Bukele in everyone's ears, in El Salvador being this beacon of hope. So that could also, that could bring up some competitiveness with Donald Trump. So I want to move on from this topic a little bit, but that's just kind of my theory there about the price fluctuation. So they basically dumped, it's like a sell the news event, like, okay, we have the strategic Bitcoin reserve already, and then maybe these investors just sold off. But tomorrow is Monday, which we're almost in Monday now. So then we might see a pop, because when you do have a lot of red with Bitcoin, then you do have typically a really good green day. And then when you have a lot of green, then, just expect some red. It's pretty simple. So right now, I feel like we will see some green action tomorrow, hopefully. And over here, this was really interesting. So this tweet initially from Laverne Spicer, it led me to like a little rabbit hole that I don't know if anyone noticed, but she goes, okay, let me see if I got this effing crap right. AOC had a MFing Colombian illegal for a campaign aide. She used the power of her office to help him get a social security number. She gave his ass a job. She paid him $80,000 a year. And the MFing illegal helped that heifer get a $2.1 billion fund that gave $15,000 relief checks to illegals that was excluded from federal pandemic aid. Can somebody please explain to me why this witch ain't being investigated and arrested? What happened to that, quote, nobody is above the law BS? So I agree with her, and this needs to be investigated a lot. I think, yeah, even Elon tweeted, investigate AOC. She said, you 100% right, my brother. But that led me, for whatever reason, to be shown this post here that says, in case you missed the memo, borders are officially closed. So when they put the money symbol and a word, that's like a ticker for a meme coin on Solana usually. So this is interesting. She commented here, this is amazing. And basically, I think it's like a meme coin that hasn't been launched yet, because if you go to the page, I don't think that they have like a crypto address, a CA for this. It says right here, borders will be closed, launch soon, not live yet. So like this is a project that's being planned, right? So let's just watch it. I haven't actually watched this trailer yet.
¡Hijo de puta! ¡Chingo a su madre! ¡Gringo bastardo de mierda!
Bring me the tortillas. You naughty, naughty boy, Juan. Time to go back to Mexico. Hasta la vista, amigo. All right, enough fun, folks. We still have work to do. It's going to be tremendous, truly tremendous. Let's show the world our borders are closed.
Okay, so that's their little promo for this shitcoin closed. So I noticed she comments, this is amazing. And then Brick Suit, this is someone who like goes to all the rallies and you see them in the rally videos. And then Ryan Fournier is another big account here. National Chairman Students for Trump, 1.2 million, glitching a little bit. And then this guy, I've seen him before, political strategist, another big account commenting on this coin. So yeah, it's like a lot of big names commenting on this. And so this coin, this account has been on X, I think it said, yeah, January 2025, right? So I'm wondering, are these conservatives, like, are they actually, like, really impressed by this and seeing this? Like, is this natural engagement? Or have they been paid or something to comment? I don't know. It doesn't really have, like, their comments don't have much engagement, and it isn't funny clip. But I'm just wondering if conservatives are going to start being shitcoiners. Like, if this is going to be, like, a new trend or something. Because you know how we had the Trump coin, Melania coin, and are we going to continue to see this? So this is just some, like, a little prediction. Maybe we'll see shitcoiners or conservatives turn into shitcoiners. Hopefully not. Hopefully they'll be able to understand Bitcoin and the whole crypto space overall. And I don't know how much these people are familiar with crypto or anything. I haven't really seen any of their posts besides like just seeing that one. So yeah, that's just, I'm hoping that doesn't become like a pattern. So I also wanted to talk about this here with a post from David Icke about AI and, you know, being a little bit critical of Trump and Elon Musk. Because, you know, everything they're doing is great, right? But there is some questions that I have. I don't know when this WEF video is from, but David Icke retweeted it and he says, why do I keep calling out the Trump Musk AI tech billionaire psyop? And it's, quote, fake alternative, or it's fake, quote, alternative propagandists despite the tidal wave of abuse. Here's why. I don't want my kids, grandkids, all kids, anyone living in this AI dystopia on a scale never seen before in known human history. I'm strange like that. So let's see what this video is. World Economic Forum video promoting transhumanism. Quote, our bodies will be so high tech, we won't be able to really distinguish between what's natural and what's artificial.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change.
Our bodies will be so high tech, we won't be able to really distinguish between what's natural and what's artificial.
Inside our own heads is the most complex arrangement of matter in the known universe.
You might ask yourself, can we get to be superhumans?
All right, so, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to be like half robot, half human, but that seems where it's headed. A lot of people don't even notice when you're wearing AirPods and when you have like a watch always tracking all of your bodily functions. You're technically somewhat turning yourself into these robots and making, it so convenient for yourself, like not having these wired headphones, having the AirPods, having all of this electromagnetic stuff going through your skull, literally, because they keep updating from like 4G, 5G, and so on. So the things getting beamed across the earth from companies like Starlink, Elon Musk, which he wants everyone in the whole world to have access to the internet. And while it sounds like a great goal and would be awesome for everyone, we have to realize what that entails. That entails 5G satellites being beamed at us from space. So David Icke talks a lot about that in the transhumanist agenda, and I do agree with his skepticism of all of this because we have, this crypto slash AI czar. It's like it's not just Bitcoin. It's not just we have to throw in the AI to that as well, right? And AI could be great for humanity and it could be used for good. I mean, everyone's using Grok and having an easier time finding out information, ChatGPT and these other mid-journey AIs that are helping in certain areas for sure. I'm all for, it being in the right hands and just people using it in a way to better ourselves. But I feel like it could go too far, and especially with we see the deep state and the people in power, the elites, manipulating us through technology. And we've seen that over the years in the releases of technology. So it's okay to be skeptical. We have to be for our own survival. And so I do like that David Icke is consistently, calling this kind of stuff out because these are Elon Musk's companies. And Trump is also working very closely with Musk. So I do want to bring that to our attention always. I also wanted to talk about this specifically going back to Bitcoin. So I'm just going to end here. I'm not going to do like a whole long stream like normal. But I do want to bring this up regarding Bitcoin price. So Bitcoin follows usually a 4-year cyclical nature. So basically what I have up here is called the Bitcoin rainbow halving price regression chart. So it's showing how the volatility of Bitcoin is kind of like decreasing over time as it gets out there more, but it's showing specifically these 4-year cycles. So the green dotted line here, that's when we had a halving. So we had our halving here. And as you can see, if you check the dates, so if we had one here, 2020, then here in 2021, that's usually when we see the price top. So about like a year after the halving. And so it's around that range now. So a lot of people in the Bitcoin space, and if you're in Bitcoin, you're familiar that you're expecting Bitcoin to also take off a lot around this time, right? This is like the bull run part of the 4-year cycle when you study the cyclical nature of Bitcoin. So it could be argued that maybe since we are seeing all of this Wall Street money come into Bitcoin, that maybe we won't see the cyclical nature continue. So that's what I'm interested in keeping an eye on, is are we going to see Bitcoin go up in these upper bands here into touching the red, being in the orange, well into the red. So what it's showing is down here, the price is pretty cooled off over here in these lower bands. But when the price reaches its peak, it goes up into the red and the orange. So you see it hasn't happened yet after this halving that we just recently had in 2024. So yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna have this happen. And what do you think? Let me know. What are your thoughts about the price? But like I said, the price seems like very manipulated, because if you just watch the price fluctuate, when it's in a run, it's just going up hundreds of dollars, and just like peaking out. And it's kind of following maybe like the MACD. So it's interesting that like to think about, what if Bitcoin they're trading it with some sort of AI? And that can tie into what we were just looking at. So some things to think about. I really like using this BitBow for different indicators and just exploring the possible price predictions and stuff. But I'm going to close off here, and I just want you guys to go follow me over on Rumble. This is where I'm doing all of my podcast type stuff, and I also have my fashion videos on there. So if you could go give me a follow over on my Rumble, that would be awesome. And let me know what you thought of this video, any comments or whatever that you have for me. I would love to read. So yeah, go subscribe there. And I'm also going to be putting my link for if you do want to buy Bitcoin, an easy way to buy Bitcoin, and all my other social media links. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
It's only 21 million, your shit got a billion. Market cap a couple trillion. We hot hotels